Right, treasure hunters, this is the clue. This is on, yeah, Risoux Forest, and this is the bit of land you start with. It took me ages to find it, and then I actually just stumbled across it. There's a small stone path that leads to a tree, and upon that tree you will find a plaque, which is the clue that you need. Yeah, this leads to the treasure. It's very well hidden. I've done a flyby and I can't see it. I didn't expect it to be that easy to find because this is JMGaming. It will be difficult, but it will obviously be well worth it. So I dwell beneath leaves of faded hue, where time stands still and whispers are few, so not much noise. My shelter is hollow, yet filled with old lore, a slumbering giant with tales to store. If you wish to see me tread with care, for only by night I dance through the air. Listen to the roots that hum in the dark, where moonlight glows and shadows spark. Very poetic, I love it. Yeah, it is amazing. And that there's quite a few clues there. I think we shall follow that. We shall be doing a bit of night hunting. Yeah, I wish those UV infrared glasses were here. That would be ideal. But I'm gonna definitely. I love these are so amazing. They really are. I mean they're scattered. Yeah, I saw quite a few of them on my flyby. I didn't collect them, but I will collect them when I'm down on Terra Firma. Brilliant. Yeah, amazing. So this is where you start your quest. So there's quite a few little bits and bobs to actually sort of go in there. So it's basically night hunting, and there's going to be a visual clue of dancing through the air, but listen to the roots that hum in the dark. So there's going to be a sound thing as well, where moonlight glows and shadows spark. Right, so there's quite a bit of visual clues that JMGaming has done, so you've got to find out roughly where it is, run across the map at night time, and then you're going to see some sort of things. So I'm going to leave this short and sweet. This is just like a little bit of a, and I don't know, I wanted to do this. I might tack it on to the beginning of the next session, because next session we are going to get on with doing some forestry. We are, yeah. So I might do a little practice off camera, because I've got to be honest, I love I've not, yeah, it's forestry stressful because it never works right. It's not because I like forestry a lot, but I've got high blood pressure, so I tend to steer clear of it. I've told JMGaming about the problem with placing things, and he is on it. So yeah, I'm sure there'll be a map update later on today for me, obviously for the alpha testing, and then I shall show that feature off once that's fixed. So I'm gonna have a bit of fun, I think, with trying to get used to the Komatsu. I have had this quite a lot. I have actually got the crane function on my I've got the gamepads, the proper the original one, not the new exceptionally expensive one. I mean, this was dear enough for the set. Still prefer a gamepad to the other one that you can have with it. Right, how am I always go back to the gamepad, to be honest. Yeah, the Komatsu always seems to be the wrong way round for my liking, to the, yeah, to what I'm used to on the Timber Pro or the my old favourite. But yeah, well, I had a good go on this. It's just got to knock the rust off, I think. So I'm going to cut a couple of trees. Just, oh, I suppose we can do it now. Yeah, it's true. It's, what's the worst going to happen? It's only egg on face, isn't it, if like things don't work out quite right. So this will be the beginning of the next session. I will time lapse the bit when I actually, right, so this is elevations changing straight away. Yeah, the Scorpion King was the name I was trying to think of. Right, let's see. Do we chop? Yeah, there's really bad press, but obviously this is a modder's map. This is JMGaming's map rather than. Let's have a look. Now then, do we? Is there any help on this type of thing? Yeah, we need to. I think you get the visual assists, don't you? When. Let's have a look. This is my very first tree in FS25, as in like to be chopped with a harvester. Yeah, not. Right, let's switch the F1 on. Open align harvester. Oh, so you can cheat by pressing O. Right, I don't like that really, but tilt harvest ahead. So we should now be. Oh, we don't want. Let's change that to. Let's go for 8s. I always used to find that was a fairly decent one. So we should now. You know what is the tree to cut this? Activate. Oh, you can activate AI work. I doubt it. I doubt that very much. Let's try it, shall we? While we're here, mode AI worker. Activate AI worker B. It's going to fail straight away, I know, but yeah, that's to be expected, really. So how do we actually? Oh, so you do it with that as well. We'd already done that. Tilt, turn off. I presume it's X. No. X is just change your. Right. Okay. Oh, I hate the banding thing. That does not look like it's. So I wasn't right, even though it's aligned me. I can't. Yeah, I don't like the yellowy glowy thing, but the assists. But they're a bit too gamey, aren't they? Really? Right. Now that. Oh, okay. That's completely changed the controls. And now we're on green, so I presume A. Wow, this is going to take some getting used to, because they're completely changed. Completely changed. I don't really... That's one way to do it, I suppose. Oh, okay. Switch that off, yeah. That's why I wanted to do a bit off camera, just to like, because I knew there'd be something that's quite different. Can we do those grey trees? That's the thing that I'm interested in. So I looked at them earlier and I thought, now then. This is just... I will go into a time when we're properly... Just wanted to see if we can chop these. Well, I would say that's a yes. Alright, smashing. So that does it. Let's have a little go with the quick to see how well we can grab these. This is the bit that I'm a bit in trepidation. Yeah, I literally on Riverbend Springs I did a bit of forestry, as in with a chainsaw, chop down some monstrous, the normal, not the proper trees. Yeah, the graphics are, but a lot of it is, I've got to be honest, true to life, in so much as when you look at things in the distance, they are fuzzy, and as you get closer, so I actually quite like it. When you are close, it's obviously much better. Let's do a couple of these. This is just so as we can see how good or bad things are going to get with forestry, with like, yeah, I think strap support, and I hope to goodness that you got strap support with the logs. I do like the fact that the quicks have now got, yeah, they are solid, because they weren't before. They were like sort of semi-ethereal. Yeah, because this is what I found in FS25, that when you try to like get the big bag handler has always been my go-to for this type of thing, and the quick didn't change my opinion of that, because you couldn't push the logs like that. Well, now you can. And yes, now that's more like it. This is what we needed to get on with logging, really. Something like that, where you can actually do that. So we shall see how good is the trailer that I've chosen. I'm definitely much better than the little one that we did. I think this is definitely better than the other one. So I've got a sort of like, yeah, this is going to be tricky. This is really telehandler stuff, but we can make this good because of the way that the quick works. I always find that if you're going to do something like this, you've just got to align it and then let go of your. Now, obviously, you know, we and then literally like that is probably the best way to do things, and then strap them quickly. Please tell me these have got strap support. Yes, they have. Oh, right. Front and back only, nothing in the middle. Surprises me. Okay, yeah, well, it looks like then your length of your things have got to basically straddle, which I suppose they would have done if I'd have dropped them better. So the bunks are not terribly deep, but it is a very... Oh, well, it's the only one we've got, actually. So, yeah, it would be nice to have longer bunks, really. But then I suppose it always has to be... Well, I suppose we're taking it with a dolly, which makes it a little bit more stable. So far, so good. Yeah, I'm going to literally quit it here. And next... this is the beginning of the next session, but Leo, we're going to get some serious tree chopping done, and I'm sure there's going to be ones like this that you cannot chop with normal means. So yeah, I'm going to have to chop this like by abnormal means. Yeah, and hopefully with the quick, I'm not sure whether Little Massey will have the sort of, we might need to chop this into tiny little pieces. Yeah, this is the bit that I'm really didn't like on Riverbend Springs. Terrible. Yeah, thank goodness for the Lumberjack mod as well. They would drop very, very quickly. Yeah, it doesn't know about these little chips yet. It just like keeps on going green and green and green. I couldn't find any way to red it. Yeah, so let's just try and yeah, unlike the other trees in FS22, you can't. Yeah, you can only delimb to a certain extent. You used to be able to chop the little bits off by just like tapping the tree. You can't do that anymore. They've giants have sort of. It's almost like they've totally forgotten any kind of like tree work at all. And there's a lot of complaints in the forums about it. An awful lot. Yeah, people who are long term. I mean, I'm not that bothered. Yeah, a lot of that as well, where you chop the tree and it doesn't actually register the chop, and then it wants you to chop it again, but you've just chopped it, and it. So it's far from perfect. Far from perfect. Definitely. It's quite bad. Yeah, worst I've ever seen, actually, I've got to be honest. Even FS19 was better than FS25 for this. Yeah, it's quite... I said it and I will say it again, unprofessional. Yeah, the way you drag bits with like tree limbs lying in the road and stuff like that, it just really is awful. Yeah, and like that, yeah, I can't focus on that right down there as the soonest I can do it. Unless change my angle. Oh yeah, no, that's better. Angle change is all that is required, which has always been a lot of that with tree chop. You know, these here, where you used to be able to like chop them by just doing that, no longer works. It's no longer a thing. Yeah, and you've got, which means you've got bits of horrible tree like there. I used to just do that and that would go. Not anymore. These horrible tree limb bits are, yeah, you can see they don't disappear when you chop. Yeah, I mean, that is still chopping. That's all you needed to do in FS22 and FS19. If there was a tree that was like a false tree limb, you'd just go down the tree, chop that, and it would disappear no more. So you've got to take these tree limbs that you can chop like that, then you've got to take them with those horrible bits on, and also they are pretty much worthless. I grabbed one of the largest either oaks or hickories on Riverbend Springs that would have been worth tens of thousands in real life. Obviously I delimbed all that I could and I got $484. It was terrible. I mean, so you work for tens of minutes trying to trim this off. There's no trimming in the truest sense. You've got all these horrible boughs to go through. Let's see if we can get the angle right for this one. Yeah, all those little tiny strands look really messy when you're taking them to to the sawmill or your sale point. Really messy. Yes, I can't defend giants on that one because it really is terrible. Yeah, again, I do say the words. It looks unprofessional. It does for a company that sort of has always said they strive for professionalism and you know, like excellence. Looking at the mod hub rules, putting my mod in, and I'm like thinking, how can you say to us about professionalism and that you expect the highest caliber of things when your logging is such a mess? It's not professional at all. Oh, I'm speaking as a fine. Yeah, I never. Yeah, even myself. Yeah, if I do something stupid, I'll chide myself just as much, and I say what I see, which is obviously not liked in this day and age, but it is what it is. I'm not going to change now. I'm too long in the tooth. Right, so there we go. That's chopped as well. We shall see if that's worth anything. And also, I suppose, yeah, let's not talk. Let's actually see. Can we lift sort of bits and bobs like that? It's going to soon fill up the tree trailer. I can't seem to be not being able to talk in English this morning. My tongue seems to be resisting. So yeah, there's a lot of trees for us to do, proper trees, and maybe the odd one like this. Let's just have a look. Can we lift these? Is this capable of these lifting these? I would have thought it would be too... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All of that tree stuff. Seriously? What were they thinking? I just don't get it. I don't get... Oh, we've got bits and bobs that are like hanging on. I mean, yeah, come on. All of the years that we've known forestry and giants, and this is such an absolute departure from the norm, really. Right, let's just spin back up if we can. Come on, we can. It's the weight that does it. But you can, if you spin it in one single direction, it will flip you eventually. Yeah. Having overturned tractors way too many times, there are very few that you can't flip back if you know how to do it. Yeah, also front loaders assist you in this, so we can lift that with that, which I don't know how much tonnage there is with that. I would imagine quite a bit, but yeah, that really is so terrible, really. But yeah, it'll drag that through. There aren't any collisions for you, but if you pass another car, now the car will collide into the wooden things. I got like knocked on Riverbend Springs, taken it back, and then of course I delimbed it as much as I could, which that is delimbed as much as you could. I got $484 for that, for like something like size. So yeah, I mean, we've still got a bit of, I think that's the main trunk though, so we can't delimit any more than that. So why are we getting penalised for, like, yeah, the rest of that little bits and bobs that are a right pain in the backside to stick in your... Yeah, we have chopped everything now. We're literally down to pretend tree limbs that look awful and just the biggie bits. So yeah, that's oh, and there's another one. No, please. There's quite a few of them. There are. Yeah, there's all my life. Do we? No, we can't leave them, unfortunately. We're trying to clear this land to be our land, so we've got to properly clear it. I know this is where I'm going to leave it. Yeah, next session we're going to crack on. We're doing this, yeah, improper. So we're going to be... I think we'll do it in 2 hits, but the trouble is, what I find normally is if you leave trees like this behind, you keep bumping into them and stuff like that. So I don't know if these will be movable. I doubt it. I'd say that they're like, you can probably get... See, can I walk into it? No, it's an object. I wonder if it's one that you can plough out, or whether you can move it with like a... yeah, we shall see. Yeah, we shall. Do you get a hand? No, it's too heavy for hand. Yeah, so we'll leave it at that. Oh, we won't. We'll just grab that. Listen, they are beautiful. Some of these different shades. Another one of the pink ones. Excellent. Wow. Oh, yeah. These aren't collectible, I don't think. I saw one of these earlier, but they are quite amazing. Absolutely. Yeah, amazing. That's the second one I've seen now of that type. So brilliant. Yeah. So this is where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to we'll get some logging done, and we shall see whether we just take out the normal logging. And also, obviously, it's hard economy, so the price of wood is... Let's have a look what the price of wood is on hard economy. It still was good. Oh, W for wood. Yeah, it's actually fairly stable. 1,000. I don't know whether that's JMGaming, but actually on the when I looked on Riverbend Springs, actually it was about 1,000. So it's 1,000 baseline and 1,000 top. Whether that's down to, it will change a little, because obviously this is alpha testing. I'm going to keep stressing that every single session, that what you're seeing now is not the finished map, not by a stretch of the imagination. In fact, JMGaming, I'm quite sure, is going to like send me another one with updates, so I can put my things down, and then all I've got to do is I've got to move my XML, my vehicles and placeables to the new one and start again. So I probably, I never thought of that. Yeah, I'd probably chopping these trees down. I should probably have to chop them down again. But there is an advantage to that, in so much as we shall earn twice as much money. So, yeah, it is one of those things. It is, but it's you've got to take the rough with the smooth. In some ways, it's bad because we're trying to clear the logs so that we can, yeah, yeah, we're trying to clear the logs so that we can actually farm this bit of land, because it's a fairly hefty bit actually. Yeah, I was looking on the map, and then I really am going. Yeah, I was looking on the map. It is at least twice as big as, in fact, I think probably more like 2.74 hectares versus 0.92. So by my reckoning, that is almost 4 times the size, and it was almost the same, because obviously you've got to clear the land. Field 60, obviously, actually is our entire farmyard. Yeah, which is not worth a lot at all, and yet it's a fairly hefty field. Not that I'm in any stretch of the imagination am I trying to sell the farmyard, but yeah, it's I think for once we'll stay here as well, because this is my ideal thing, is where you're right next to the shop is my absolute all-time favourite sort of place. So yeah, at least we know this can lift that. We've learned quite a lot. Proper forestry is alright. The quick strap, the strapping that the quick does really makes that the most invaluable thing at present. I tried to do it with the base game stuff, and they really I think they could probably cope with this with normal forestry. It was just the horrible gnarly bits that were really terrible. So we're going to get cracking next session chopping. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to avoid and leave all of the horrible normal trees, and we'll chop all of the choppable trees, and then we'll come back and we'll manually chop the ones that are in the way. If there's ones that can sit on the edge, like the one I chopped down that I didn't really think about at the time, then we'll leave it. Yeah, like that one. That one can... That's a normal... No, just proper forestry, isn't it? So we'll chop that. But any of those, like, standard ones that are on the tree edge, on the edge of the field, like this one, I think that one can stay. Yeah, that one's going in a little, so yeah, now they're coming out. So, but that one there, that can stay. More of those. That's the third lot I've seen. So we've got deers still. Yeah, I think probably an import straight from FS25. Yeah, this one is a little bit further out. So, and this one, that one can stay. Anything near that edge can stay like that. So yeah, and that's it. We're nearly at field 9, our old field that we swapped for this one. Yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave it. Hopefully you'll join me next session. Hello and welcome. Right, it is time for us to get on with doing this. Just got to remind myself of the key configs. Right, it is time to strip down as many trees as possible. So I'm going to say my words straight into a time lapse when I can remember how to do my... that up is really down, but yeah, okay. Yeah, it's going to take me a few minutes to get used to the Komatsu again. The bushes aren't helping there, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's seen over. I suppose we could do something about that. Yeah, I've often found this when you've got... bushes like this, you really can't see very well. So let's have a look at doing a bit of painting, and I would say forest ground is probably the a bad thing. Just go near where the trees are, otherwise this could become quite expensive. You just need to see the base of the trees. It's sort of like a bit of a guessing game, and it's not my yeah, gone is the time when this was like my first skill in FS19. Oh yes, this was my go-to, definitely, but not now, not so much. No, it's I do, it's true, and I'm not belabouring the point or anything like that. So I have got high blood pressure, and I always used to find, I didn't understand back then, I didn't have a diagnosis for it, but yeah, I used to know it got me stressed, but I didn't really understand why, because I'd not been diagnosed as having high blood pressure. So it's one of those things that I realise it does get to me. Right, we can go out now. It does get to me, and more than gnarly trees, I can handle this kind of forestry a lot. I don't know. No, we haven't switched it on. That's more like it. Now then, do I change my camera? No, I always find that worse. And that. It's, even though it sometimes is, I can't see if that's the best angle I can go at. No, I'm not close enough, or I'm like not. I wasn't quite. Right, I'm going to say my words. See you guys and gals on the other side. Right, I think that's fairly good. I'm amazed at the meshes on the floor. Absolutely amazed. I'm just going to see if the old FS22 trick of actually sticking some soil underneath a tree like that. Oh wow, look at that. I'm in my with a flying chainsaw. Right, okay, we don't want painting. It used to work. It did, but although this is a bit... Yeah, once it's in the ground, it seems to like... Well, it did in FS22. Yeah, it does. Still works. If it touches the ground, it's classed. It's all good and proper. So yeah, we can like lower that again now. It's one floating tree, which I've taken a screenshot for JMGaming. Not bad, but everything than just one floating tree. That's all I've seen so far. Although we've only got this one area. Yeah, I was trying to like build Rome in a day. I was like trying to get them all, and I thought, well, to be honest, there's going to be a lot of work here. There's the clean-up work to do. That's why I've chopped the tree trunks, like the tree stumps, because I always find I used to always leave them, and they used to like bash into them, and like you can't round up the logs. Let's just flatten that. Smooth it, actually soften. Let's get it right. Yeah, soften often does it quite well as well. It's almost like level. And also costs a lot less. Yeah, so that's that done. But yeah, what I was thinking was, I've got the clean up to do with this. Now, as you saw, it's there's been a lot of talk about forestry, and I've got to be honest, it is true. I mean, we've only got the Komatsu to start with. These are too thick for them. Now, sometimes, some of them, if you came from another angle, it actually let you do it. I came to the same one, and I thought, it looks a bit narrower on this side. Let's try and chop it. And it did actually work, but some of them you just got the yellow sign. I was thinking to begin with that we were never going to get a message to say the tree trunk. That's why I knew I couldn't chop some of these trees. I was waiting for the message and it wasn't giving me the message. But then later on, it was almost like the system woke up and it did give me the error message to say you can only cut straight trees. Yeah, so these two, no matter what angle I went from, they really just said, no, you're not having it. So we'll chop those by chainsaw. No, I'm not sure what to do. I've got to be honest. I did on the American map. I chopped loads of these type, and I think I've mentioned it already, like to begin with, but not on this Let's Play. So no, I haven't. They're awful, and you can't chop. A bit like we saw with that first one that I chopped. You can't chop all the tree limbs off, and the game still seems to want them not to have tree limbs on. So when you take this, it's pretty much like you'll get $2 or €2 or whatever. It's awful, as well as them being difficult to grab, and as well as them looking awful to take. Yeah, because you can't chop, unlike before. Yet you can't like chop if you. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything anymore to actually chop these like things that aren't really there off. So you've got to put up with dragging them, and they go into the roads and they look awful. So from that perspective, they're terrible. But not only that, you might take 10 minutes to trim as much as you can, stick it in. Now, the one thing I'm going to also say, from even in all of the iterations of FS that I've done in any of the universes, in FS19, FS22, if you had a dodgy tree, like say this one where it got tree limbs, it would affect your entire load. It wouldn't just like, you'd like take a load that you knew would normally be 50 grand and it would like give you 20,000 or something because you're being punished for the tree. So we're going to take these on their own special load. We're going to load the normal trees up. I don't think it's going to take many to fill them. It's neither very wide, but it is, well, it's the only one we've got again. So I'm not sure if there's a modded one though. Vaguely rings a bell that someone stuck one in. So I'm really not sure as to what to do. Having had such terrible experience at Silver, I was going to say Silver Run then. I was thinking about Silver Run, the forestry. Oh, did I just see a tree? I did, right, okay. I thought I'd... Oh, and not only did we see that... Yeah. I knew I'd missed some. You can't really help it. And we will grab that. It's a beautiful thing as well while we're here. Fantastic. Got quite a few of those now. Yeah, so I love the foliage on the ground. JMGaming has really been busy. That's beautiful. Now, there was something similar on FS20, but the graphics, the meshes were nowhere near as good as that. Not only that, I've chopped them all now. Yeah, I wish I could find a tree. Oh, I have. Look at the woods. It really looks like a proper tree. Oh, that's the one that I was struggling with, yeah. The one that wouldn't actually cut. That just kept cutting and cutting and cutting. Let's just see if it hasn't gone. No. That's the one that's yeah, that will not play ball with that one, so it's unfortunate. But yeah, the wood, the quality of the graphics, that's completely different from FS22. But I've got to be honest, it's early days, but I'm not sure how to handle this because it's really, there's a lot of those type of horrible trees. We've not shifted enough to actually make a field out of this because there's way too many of these gnarly types of trees. FS25's present, how good it is at this type of thing. I haven't finished. I know I haven't finished, but I thought you're not going to do it all anyway. You know you've got to clean up. There's got to be the next few sessions. I don't want it just to be about, although it is a logging map primarily, I don't want it to be just about that. So we will be cleaning up, obviously selling it. It is the back end. We've not got any fields to harvest, so we'll do the best that we can. There is some. This is quite a wide area. You could make quite a big field. Now the other thing, as I was thinking as well, was actually getting that that there. I think it is a good spare wheel. No, oh no, that's not what I'm after. No, swath curtain. Oh, that's for doing it both sides. Is it? I think so, yeah. Multitask? What does that mean? I have no idea. We'll just bite for that for now. Fantastic, because we may well go into grass work. Or no, the trouble is there's nothing, at the minute there's no like, nothing like the Omatana or, man, there's still clamps, I suppose, but there's nothing to do with silage at the minute. There's no real special thing, so I think we're going to concentrate on loading these up. I think this is not going to be as easy as normal, although I've got to be honest, I don't think I could have done this without having strap support, so this is going to assist us enormously. It would have been a real awful job with, I mean, yeah, I could have even tackled Silverrun with this type of thing because you can grab things. It's completely different to be able to grab things quite easily because of this sort of invisible straps that sort of come from this. It really does make things, well, it does if you grab it right. Oh, I've not got it. You don't normally have to select it if it's the only thing with that function. But yeah, you can see that's not too tricky at all. The other thing is, I was thinking earlier, for this kind of wood, it would probably be better if we had some sort of sell point. Now in FS19, not that I ever sort of showed it, what I would do is, there was in FS22 that new mod where you could stick it was like the containers and you could stick it as a sell point. You could fill it and then sell the wood to simulate you grabbing a container and taking it off to sell. Now it's FS25, it's early days, there's no such mods as that. There's no like mobile, yeah, there was the mobile saw bench I used a while at the beginning. There's nothing like that. The mobile utilities by Joss, yeah, nothing like that at the minute. So we're sort of stuck with the lack of mods, not being able to do some of the things that we really should be able to do at present. So we'll shift the wood that we have done. It was a lot of wood that we've chopped. How many trees did we actually? What's that? It's white. Oh, it's just one of the. I don't know if they move or whether they're just always going to be there, or if you can plough over them. They're definitely solid, as in they've got a collision. If you walk over them, you literally do step over them. Yeah, there's a bump. So they are real. They've not got a hand icon, but I'm not sure whether if you plough them, they disappear or something like that. I know JMGaming, I was a bit worried the first time I played on Risoux Forest, because there were like tree things similar to this, not quite as big as that though. So it might be deadfalls. I mean, in other iterations there have been pieces of wood that you could take and sell, so maybe it's that. Maybe we'll be able to grab it out of the ground or something. There's lots of mysteries to solve. Oh no, that's that one that we can't do. And there's a lot of wood to sell. Now, I was a little bit worried. I came on before I started the cameras, And I thought, oh, can I? Yeah, I mean, there's no rush either. Obviously, we've got the. I think if I remember rightly, I sold the Rotney that we had the first time around, which obviously that would do anything. It's capable of like the biggest, thickest logs of all, whereas the Komatsu isn't. Well, it can't do the gnarly trees, but it wouldn't have struggled with any of these. The stone pines and all of those, the really thick ones, but the Komatsu does, and that's all. At the minute we've actually got in, I was looking, I was thinking, do we sell the Komatsu and like lease the Rotney? Because I suspected with those first couple that were too thick, I thought these are too thick for the Komatsu, but I didn't have any confirmation until later on when I noticed you get that yellow light when it's not capable. It doesn't say it's too thick. Some of them got there, it's too thick at the base. You need, in other words, it's giving you a hint that lift your thing up higher and chop up higher. But these other ones just went yellow all the time. I went literally right up to about there, and it still did not. Scotch pine, sorry, not stone pine. I think there were the stone pines as well. These are the Scotch pines. Yeah, they will not cut. As you can see, they are quite broad. But I went right up to about there and they still wouldn't chop, still stayed yellow, so I'm not sure what to do. We have only got the Komatsu at present, and that's not being horrible. I believe the Scorpion King was the same as well. It was only the Rotney that could manage the really big ones, so we haven't got that at present. We've got the Rotney forwarder, so Giants haven't like lost their license or anything. Perhaps they're going to do something like later on. Yeah, maybe, but all we've got so far is the of that kind. Now I do believe, can't that cut anything? I'm sure I read I heard somebody say that this will cut any sort of like thing. Do we? And then there's of course the Hannibal, which I don't think anything can tangle with that thing. Well. Any normal tree, I think that's probably the one you're supposed to go with, but I'm not sure about that one. I've got to be honest, I used one of those, because I'd say I have done this, I didn't like it very much. I tried, I persevered, I did a couple of sessions with one, and I thought, oh, no, I don't really like this. The fact that you like lift them up and then it's hard to put them down, and because I thought to begin with, I thought, oh, this is going to be good because I can drop it straight into the trailer without, and like you lift it up. But I could never get that to work. Maybe with a bit more practice I could, and I'm not sure. I suppose we could do a test, and if so, let's just go and see how much we would get for the because I'm not intending. You've got to see things like this as assets. I used to get hung up about things like this, but it's an asset we've been given, and we've got very little equipment. This is one of our assets. If we sold this, because I'm not intending, I'd sooner like buy a harvester and actually get into normal farming, but we have got it. It sounds ungrateful doing something away, and that's not what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is I could lease one of these. I did that on the first time with the Risoux Forest. We bought one of the big sets where it is now a massive field, where I sort of showed you all that was the case. Yeah, and then we cleared the area with a Rotney. So then time is, but if you've got one like this and we were keeping this, then it wouldn't really matter that we sort of kept this all the time, because there's no time limit then, and I was doing everything. But what I'm trying to say is I think I'd sooner have a go with the John Deere and see, no, that was what I want to do. Let's just first of all see how much you do get for this, whether it's like, because it's could be second hand, wasn't it, like it's getting older. I mean, everything looks new, we've not done a lot in it, but let's have a look. How much would you get if you sold it? If we sell it, we'll get 388, so it's not lost an awful lot. We could lease the John Deere. How much to lease you? 15,835. What I would like to do for now, though, is a bit of a test. Just like to see if we like lease that. This is a test, so I'm only leasing this as a test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself the 15,000, because this is the end of the session. This is Again, I've always said this. I'll just be 15,000 dead as well. I'm not going to worry about the pennies. In real life, you would go to the shop and say, can this do blah blah blah? These are experts on tools, and if they're not experts, they're going to ring John Deere or like Ponzi, and they're going to say, can this do such and such? And then they're going to tell me that this can do this. This is a game, we have no such facility. So what I'm saying is, I'm not really sort of cheating. In real life, this is the only way we as players can actually sort of do this. So let's lease that. And we'll have a quick go at chopping. Yeah, let me know what you think about the keeping the. I think it'll bother me a little. I've sort of got used now. So do we just switch it on the same? Yes, we do. Doesn't look any wider to me, but I don't know. It might be. Let's have a go. I think this can chop multiples, can't it? I think. I'm not sure. I mean, let me just see. Can I remember how to? Yeah. You should really. Yeah, no, that was it. But you should sort of be able to go to the back of the trailer and sort of let it go straight if you got it right. And in some ways, you're not double handling. There's going to be a lot. When I say that though, there's going to be a lot more rolling around. But I do think this is an option. I suppose it would give me a bit of a chance. If this is going to do the thicker ones, then it's worth doing. And also we could sort of stick the trailer nearby and keep dropping them in and not double handle all the time. It's just like bailing and going loose together, isn't it? Like which is the argument for which is best? Well, in some situations going loose is better. If you've got like a thing that's not far away, running to that like barn or something, or your silo, it's let's try this. No, let's concentrate on one thing at a time. It's on. Blade is turning. Oh, okay. No, not completely. Ah, you see, just too thick, like that. Ah, no, you still got to chop all the bits off. Yeah, you have, and that's the thing. That was the difference, wasn't it? Of course. Yeah, you can't. You've got to clean it off manually. Yeah, that was it. So it sort of only half does the job. It is true, but you could only can you jump up the. I think it makes it the more release, but I don't know how this is going to be now because it's not been working. But I've not tried this, not on a proper tree, whether you can actually. Oh my life! Come on, be kind to me. No, it's not letting me. No, it's not wanting me to run up the tree. No, it's not chopping those off. So I don't know whether giants have taken away that you're not going to lose the. Yeah, there's none of that goes on now. You used to run up the branch like that, and it would delimb everything, and that's all gone out the window. So you'd think that that would mean that you're not going to get punished. I suppose there is one thing we could do, and that is, if that is the case, do we take 2 trees to market, one like this, but the trouble is, it's got to be chopped, hasn't it? It's too. No, I stand by what I said. Let's. How do I release? No, that release trees is B. There we go. Right, test done. It is true. So it is also true that I have no idea whether those tree limbs make any difference anymore to you getting It sort of, in a way, though, makes a bit of a mockery of the tree harvesters, because if that no longer makes any difference, then you can just use a chainsaw. Although, of course, it is much more. It's going to take a lot more time to chop them with a chainsaw. Yeah, if I'm missing something about the buncher that you all know, like a secret, that I'm like missing something obvious, but to me, again, it is sort of, if you think about that fact, the buncher is an advantage if you sell those trees. Do we do a bit of a test? Do we run? I'm trying to think. Do we chop 2 identical trees and run them? It's going to be difficult to do, isn't it? Yeah, and it's also, the other thing is, we've got like lots of trees scattered all over the place. How do you know which of these is one tree? I would say those 3 bits there are one tree. And we could take that one. Yeah, the other thing, there's always been the age-old arguments. The age-old argument about like the lengths and making, yeah, I mean, I've gone to 11 metre. I've often found if you go over a certain length, actually you seem to get punished for it and you lose money. Whereas if you stick to 6, 7 or 8 metres, I always found that was actually quite good. So what we could do is, let's save the game. This is a test. Oh, no, because we're giving ourselves the money back, it don't really matter. Yeah, now this is where I did find the big back handler is a little better. But the strap support on this is quite phenomenal too, so I would say we've probably got 1 tree in there. I think we put 1 tree in that. And that's not far off. So if we go take that 1 tree to the sawmill, the price is not going to have dropped terribly. If we... Well, I suppose there's 2 tests we can do. The one is we can take that, the one that we've done with the buncher, with all the limbs on, and see if we sell that 1 tree as it is. I suppose the best test would be to chop 1 tree down from the harvest. Yeah, but you can't not cut it down to size. Yeah, well, I suppose we could do a comparison of like a tree. It's gonna be very awkward to take, though, isn't it? Well, I suppose I know it. I wouldn't do this normally. This is literally us doing a bit of testing. I would no way try and take this tree like this across the map, and I'm not going to try to do that now. What I am going to do is I'm going to stick this in there and like, yeah, try and put it leaning heavily backwards. Well, I'm going to have to go the other way. Yeah, can I do this? Yeah, they really don't like logs. That's never changed. Yeah, I'm trying to think, if I go this away, I should be able to get the log into that, but it'll lean on the floor. But as I said, the one thing that I have learned from like tangling on, ooh, I keep wanting to say silver rug. Wow. It's going through the lorry. Yeah, I knew it. I say, and that's the thing. The collisions don't matter until they do. This new way of doing things is alright until all of a sudden the game goes, oh my life, that's got collisions on it. Now it's going into the ground. And now it's going to stop me dead because it's going to grow into the ground again. Yeah, we don't want to chop it because then it's going to ruin the test. Now there is one thing I'm going to say. Sometimes when you come back the next time, the problems like this go away because the game releases it from the ground. Let's just see if we can just try and grab that and lift it out of the ground. If we can't, then I'm just going to leave it till next session, and we shall continue this test next time. Yeah, it's stuck in the ground. Yeah. Ooh. No, it's just going to drag it in the ground. It's going to have to work itself free. It really is. It's a mechanics issue. Mechanics, and this is what I'm saying. It sort of makes a mockery of anybody who's trying to play realistic. Now I've got to be honest. The physics have always been a little bit funny. I seem to have a knack for like lifting my tractors and doing dances with them and all sorts of weird and wonderful things due to the physics. Even though I aim for realism, and there's a lot of content creators that are aiming for realism. And for no fault of your own, you're going to hit a snag like this, which really is not your fault. So yeah, we're going to do that test next time. We'll keep the buncher for now. 169. Why have we gone down 50 odd grand? Oh, we bought the, yeah, windrower, remember, for 35 grand? We put the 15 grand, yeah, 170. So yeah, no, that is right. It was 204,000. So yeah, 30 odd thousand. Right, I also thought I was going to do the follow the riddle, and I thought, well, what if you solve this on camera and then like totally ruin it for everybody? And I'm like thinking, I think that's true. I was going to do it, and I thought, no, let everybody have the fun. So, someone's going to do it though, I suppose. But what, even before the map's released? I suppose you could put a spoiler on it to say those who... Because I'm thinking it's going to make really good footage to actually do that. All of these dancing lights and sounds, I think it would be really quite impressive. So next session we'll get all that done. If this test succeeds, I mean, yeah, we've seen that like we can, yeah, it can go wrong. But if we can grab the buncher and keep dropping them down onto the back of this and selling this tree versus one of those trees is the same, which I doubt very much it is, but if it is, then we'll just use the buncher. We'll sell the Komatsu and we'll get the buncher, whether we're leasing or what. Finish this patch, finish like 62. I can get 62 and yeah, this one. Get all of the trees off and make that into a nice big field. I'm not sure about doing any more, like whether we just buy some of these fields around us, buy that back, and actually do, yeah, field 8 as well, and actually sort of make paths to them all so it is a proper farm. There's also 7's not terribly far away. We're not that far away from fields all the way around us, so we could still go into normal sort of and obviously the other thing is we should have like quite a lot of cash from all of this wood when we take it to market. So yeah, I'm still wondering about the gnarly trees, whether we do that. But I suppose I'm not worried about not getting money for them, but they are a lot of work, and obviously it is. Let me know what you think about having an agreed price for these, because I've sold these huge, not this Tilia amarensis, but I have sold the big hickories on Silver Creek. It's not Silver, is it? Oh, I've got Silver Run in my head. I can't get it out. The American map now. I've done that, and I got $484, and it sticks in my brain because it was like such a slap in the face when that would be worth thousands of dollars for how much wood there was on it. It was like a massive, about 3 times the girth on that. So obviously I chopped up, delimbed it as much as I could, and left it like we've done that one down there, where it's still got the top branches because you can't chop them off anymore. Took it to market. It was a right a bind to get it. What on earth? That was a bit weird. It had got the meshes wrong. Yeah, it got like low res in the middle of high res, but it's okay. Could be the tree type. It's all right now. Yeah, no, it's certain trees. I think they're a bit they're low res until you walk a little closer, and then when you walk into the thing, they go high res. And it is a way to keep your computer from being absolutely battered. Yeah, you can see it. I'm just on the edge of that going to high res. Yeah, it's the way that Giants keep it so your computers don't get battered by them being like, yeah, or your cycles on your graphics card and that are going through the roof with there being so many objects. So yeah, I'm gonna okay, now you we can do. Yeah, I missed you somehow. I knew I would. You always do. You think you've got every last one, and you think, how on earth did I miss that? It's right in the middle of this area, and it's only a stone throw away from that. Oh wait, of course now it'll be the one we just bunched. It wasn't there a minute ago. Right, so that's where we're going to leave it. So we've got half buried trees. We've got almost all of this chopped though, all the way through. That we didn't bad at, but look at how many gnarly trees there are to chop. They are going to be a pain. I don't think the bunches can cope with those either, can they? No, because it said it was that other was too thick at that position. So yeah, you can go higher, but it still can't chop the weird ones. So yeah, we should. I'm going to give it some thought on whether we just do the wood, sell this back and buy some fields around us, due to how difficult it is to do the forestry at the minute. Not because I'm afraid of forestry, well, I think I proved that this session, but yeah, it's the tools we've got available at the minute is my only worry. So yeah, but that's where I'm going to leave this particular session. Remember, this is an alpha. It's an alpha test, but I've got to be honest, I think this is like both alpha and beta. I really don't think, other than the fact that JMGaming, and I'll be honest, I worked with JMGaming when he was doing his last Rouillet Normandy, and I did the alpha, and it went from alpha to beta very quickly, and when we did the beta testing, it went from beta to it being put to giants in a matter of days, because we were very thorough on the testing that we did. And again, I don't think there's much better testing than this. And then obviously what I will probably do is what I did before, which is to literally drive around the map and check for like floaty trees and things like that. And so far we've only seen that one, but I haven't been everywhere. I have done a lot. I did a flyby, but that's not really the same. I always find what you find when you're looking like this is an awful lot better. Yeah, it's a lot clearer than it is from doing a flyover where you're just looking at trees really. But that's where I'm going to leave it. We have already, I mean, thinking about it, I mean, yeah, we'll make the decision on the buncher if we find that that test is successful and selling that tree whole is just as lucrative as selling it chopped into 8-metre lengths, then we'll keep the buncher. If, however, as I suspect, you get penalised for having a very long log like that, again, we could chop it with a chainsaw. That is also an option. But I always find that it gets funny if you got like stick 10 logs in and then you got to try and chop. You can't get to them all. You've got to like do it in advance. Then it soon becomes that you can see why the Komatsu would be the better of the two, because obviously it's stripping all those bits down and making it into 8-metre lengths. If 8-metre lengths is now, again, this is a whole new. I remember seeing Mr. CLP going through the same conversation as I'm going through now with yourselves in FS25, where it like as he said, and it is true, it's a whole new beast. We've got to discover, is it the same? Because to me, giants have changed. They've ripped up the rule book that was in FS22 and FS19 and completely rewritten everything about it. So that means we've really got to go on a voyage of discovery. Now, at the minute it's the base, it really is the beginning of the game. So even if giants have ripped the rulebook up, when I took this and got only 484, if it's a bug tree, they'd sort of, you got those in FS19 as well. If you took a bug tree, you're not going to get anything for it. It ruins the whole load. Again, it could have been that the tree that I chopped was bugged, or that perhaps it's not quite. These extra limbs are supposed to chop when you chop the trees automatically and it's not working properly at the minute. There's 101 things that could be the case because it's so new. So some of these will probably find that things get fixed that were supposed to work differently, and then like perhaps these do disappear automatically. The giants seem to be going for a lot of automation. I was watching Farmer Bob earlier and he was telling you how to do the placeables using the automation, the scripting engine inside Giants editor. It was amazing. But again, giants are trying to automate things, a lot of things, for people to use the editor a lot more easily to make maps and things like that. So yeah, again, it could be just something that's not quite right at the minute. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite pleased with where we've got to. We've got a fantastic. I mean, the other thing is, I was thinking, we've got a beautiful trailer. It's a real monster. We don't necessarily need one that large to begin with, and we could also like give this a bigger back. I don't know how, was it 10 tons or whatever. We could sort of stick that back on, and we could get another one of that type where we can. That's a point. Would we try that? It would be a bit of a struggle for it though. But yeah, we haven't tried it. It's not got a PTO. No, it's weird, isn't it, with things like this, how although technically it really should actually grab that, sometimes they're too low, and it's like low and things like that, so yeah, we can see it's not, and it probably is the fact it's got PTO2 that's going to stop that actually happening. So it's not a pickup, is it? You know, it's just a trailer, I think. Yeah, it is. So again, we could sell that at the very beginning and actually get a smaller trailer for a bit. What I'm trying to say is you only get your assets at the very beginning, the first couple of sessions, in the first month. Everything's brand new. If you're going to like try and cash in some of your chips a little bit, then let's just try putting down a shed now in case it was upset a little bit, and just sort of see if we can put a shed down, whether it was just a sort of glitch to begin with. No, it still says land is not owned by you. It seems though, look, if you go in a little, yeah, it's obviously not right, we know that, but what I'm trying to say is, yeah, it ought to, yeah, right to that point there. So if you did it like that, yeah, doesn't seem to like it like that. That's probably too close to the, yeah, but it does go back a long way. What about B mode? You see, that's not too bad. Yeah, it's almost like it's a little bit too close to the edge. So we sort of can do it. Well, that's going to be useful for JMGaming, because it's not quite as cut and dry as it was. You've just got to stay clear of that. Obviously, I showed in the video that we couldn't do the placement, or you can a little. It's not quite right. You can't quite go as far as you should do, because really that should be outland, but it's not terrible. You can actually make do. So we've got to shed the back down after selling the other one. Yeah, so we have got options, but we've got to decide quickly what we're doing, really, to cash in, to get different sort of bits of kit at the beginning where we need it, because I intend on going into farming. I'm not intending on staying at logging, but I do think there's a time when you've got to like use your logging equipment whilst you've got it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm waffling because I'm tired a little actually. Yeah, so all that remains to be said is thank you very much. I know I've said this once before. Thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey, and I'm going to say goodbye for now.